A very good day to you all. My name is Pastor Lawrence Mazenge and welcome to Daily Inspiration. Today we are reading from the book of Luke chapter 17 verse 32. And the Bible simply says, remember Lot's wife. Our message this morning is titled, Keep Your Focus. Keep Your Focus. Where we have just read, this was Jesus Christ reminding people of Lot's wife. For those who are familiar with the Old Testament, I believe we all know the story of Lot's wife. When Lot and his family were rescued from the city of Sodom, the Bible says, and the angels told them never to look back, but to rush out of the city and go into the next city that they had asked. And Lot had asked to go to Zoar. And the Bible says, and then Lot's wife looked back and she was turned into a pillar of salt. What happened to Lot's wife? Lot's wife was used to the life in Sodom. I want to tell you something. The life in the world is so attractive. The life in the world looks so interesting and looks so green from afar that sometimes when you look at buildings, big tall buildings, and other beautiful structures that people are building today, sometimes you begin to think and wonder if God could possibly bring the world to an end and make all those buildings to ruins. Just like what the people in Jerusalem or the people in Israel were thinking when they were being told by prophets that one day the city was going to be in ruins. They would look at Solomon's temple and say, God can never destroy this. But I want you to understand that what we consider to be beautiful buildings, when God looks at them, it's just a pile of rubbish. Why? Because for him, anything that is earthly is useless, because he can create those things with just a click of his finger. So Lot's wife could not resist the temptation of remaining in Sodom. Maybe she had investments there. Maybe they had vast wealth there. Maybe she had friends there. And Sodom had become a part of her life, not knowing that she was not necessarily part of them. She was a stranger in that land. So when God came to rescue them, when God came to deliver them, it was difficult to deliver Lot's wife because of her attachment to the city or to the place of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now when Jesus was saying, remember Lot's wife, he was speaking to people whose care of the things of this world were blocking them from seeing their deliverance that was supposed to come from Jesus Christ, was blocking them from seeing the Messiah who had come to deliver them from the sin, from the Adamic nature. They were saying everything they wanted about him. They were accusing him of everything. They were accusing him of being the devil, of being used by the prince of demons. They were accusing him of being a Samaritan. All sorts of accusations were laid against Jesus Christ. But he was the Son of God who had come to deliver the world. But what was happening? The world needed to be reminded of Lot's wife. If you have too many cares of this world in your heart, it is difficult to see God, because your heart is not pure. Remember, the blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. I want you to understand that you can never ever see God if your heart is contaminated by the things and the cares of this world. If we read the Bible, in the book of Numbers chapter 11 verses 4 to 6, it says, and the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lasting, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. These were people who were used to the Egyptian system. These were people who were used to the Egyptian foods. Instead of focusing on Canaan, where God was taking them, these people were regretting and missing the food that they were eating in Egypt. And they were complaining that we are eating nothing except this manna. Manna, according to the Bible, is angelic food. I don't know if angels eat, which means it's heavenly food. They were given the privilege to eat heavenly food, but they complained, wanting to go back to eat garlic, wanting to go back to eat cucumbers and fish in slavery. I want you to understand, Egypt was in them. It was difficult to take them out of Egypt because Egypt was in them. I want you to understand, even when the boat is in the water, it won't sink because of this water around it, but it will sink because of the water inside it. Don't worry about having the world around you. There is nothing you can do about that. Just remember, we are not of this world. So allow the world to be around you, but don't allow the world to be inside you. I want you to understand that. If anything, continue remembering Lot's wife, and that will help you to keep your focus. Once you have kept your focus, you will remain attached to God and sense His deliverance when it has come upon you. My name is Pastor Lawrence Mazenge. This is Daily Inspiration. God bless you all and have a wonderful day.